I'm sorry, fellow gamers, but apparently we have extraordinary expectations. Our expectations are too high, according to Ubisoft. So if you don't know, Ubisoft came out and said that gamers have too high expectations for games to be solid after the not so pleasant release of Star Wars Outlaws and with the new Assassin's Creed game. Because we just have too many high expectations, right? I mean, sure, I definitely shouldn't expect a game to come out and not be buggy or have many glitches. I want a solid release. But unfortunately, that's too unrealistic, right? I mean, yeah, I should definitely expect Spider-Man 2 to be full of bugs and glitches. I definitely should not expect something like I got in Spider-Man 2018, right? And with Pokemon as well. I definitely should have expected Pokemon Scarlet and Violet to have so many bugs and glitches and not to be the best Pokemon experience of all time, right? I should totally be understanding of that because massive teams are definitely not enough to make a great game. Meanwhile, you have games like Palworld that literally have small teams and create a solid game even though it's lost its relevancy at this point. And Starfield, a game that was so massively hyped up by Bethesda, but turned out just to be loading screen simulator, which basically ruined its chances for a nomination at the Game Awards. But yeah, it's our fault. We definitely should not be expecting solid releases from these big game companies, right? I don't know what Ubisoft is trying to point out or say when they say that we have too many high expectations. All we're asking for is a good game. We want a good story with good gameplay. Does graphics matter that much? No! And that was shown in the 90s during the console wars, when graphics were all that mattered to win the console wars, but in reality, it was the games that were being released. Why do you think Nintendo is doing so much better than Xbox and PlayStation? It's because Nintendo actually cares about quality release, unlike PlayStation and Xbox, which just care about pushing the best looking game with the best graphics in the year just to win an award at the Game Awards, which doesn't really end out well, unless you're Baldur's Gate 3 or a Souls game. And just to prove my point, we're gonna go over this stack of games for the Nintendo Switch. First up, we got Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Does it have the best graphics in gaming history? No, but the game is solid. Nintendo put in real effort in this game. Next up is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Does it have the best graphics? No, but it's a real, fun, solid game. Persona 5 Royal. The graphics on this are really good, just like the other games. But is it the best graphics? No. The art style is pretty self-explanatory compared to games like Elden Ring, but really solid game. Next up, Breath of the Wild and its popular successor, Tears of the Kingdom. The graphics on this are nothing compared to Elden Ring or God of War or Spider-Man, but you know what? These were solid games. You know why? Because Nintendo put in the effort to make a real fun game for gamers that we can actually enjoy without worrying on graphics or release, because these had enough time to be finished and for us to enjoy. The Xenoblade Chronicles trilogy. Are these the best graphics in gaming? No, but you know what? These were fun games. And I just have a love for RPGs, so where can you go wrong? Now keep in mind about one thing, I loved Spider-Man 2. I love the story on it, but the glitches and the bugs ruined the experience for me, especially on day one where I had to reset after just simply sitting down. Well, then again, I had to reset a bunch of times because the game just wouldn't let me continue forward unless I restarted the game, which should not happen. If you have fans complaining about stuff like that, then you know that we have every right to complain. That is something that you definitely overlooked. Now I know Spider-Man 2 is not made by Ubisoft, but it's an example of expectations from gamers. We just want a fun, solid game. Graphics are good. I consider them a plus, extra credit. But the gameplay and the story are what matter the most. Now, gameplay matters a whole lot more than story, but you get my point. You can have a fun game, but if the story is bad, the game is pretty meh. But if the story is really good, but the gameplay is not that good, then it's more than meh. It's less than that, to be exact. But you get my point. Graphics should not be the main thing these companies should focus on. And for some reason, it's only the big name companies that have really good graphics, but miserable gameplay experience because they rush these games. They don't care about finishing the game before release, and they just want to get mad at us because we wanted a fun game. Well, if that's how it works, then I guess Berserk fans are at fault for why the anime didn't do so well. You know, Berserk fans have too many high expectations. They wanted an anime that follows the manga, but in the end, they didn't get that, especially for those who watch The Promised Neverland or Tokyo Ghoul. You know, don't expect an anime to follow the manga like that. All right, lower your expectations. So, what's the moral of the story here? Graphics are what matter the most. Gameplay doesn't matter at all. Experience doesn't matter. And take it from Ubisoft themselves. They probably didn't say exactly, but you know, we have too many high expectations. What do we know?